Okay, in this video, I'm going to discuss how you can improve the performance of your website. So we're going to talk about a few different things that are going to help you in the long run when you're building a website, looking at a website, optimizing a website to get the most out of it. Okay, so item number one is to optimize your page load times. So this is a fairly technical thing to do, and if you're not at all confident in doing it, there are some plugins and things that can do it for you you can basically click it and turn it on and it'll do it for you. Otherwise, I would highly recommend reaching out to your website developer or a website developer and saying, hey, can you help me optimize my website? That is going to be the biggest thing that you can do to improve your website overall. Second one is to make sure that your website is mobile responsive. Websites nowadays are being viewed nearly half the time on a mobile device, if not more, whether that's for a mobile phone, a tablet, or a computer, older laptops that have smaller resolutions, things like that. You really need to make sure that your website has been optimized for mobile responsiveness. And what does that mean? It just means that people viewing the website on a computer, a mobile phone, or a tablet are all getting a similar, if not identical, experience. The next one is to improve your actual user experience. So make sure that you have call to action buttons. Make sure that your navigation is easy to follow. Make sure that overall, somebody visiting your website isn't having a hard time finding what it is they came there for. A good way to check if your user experience is working for you is to reach out to some friends or some other business owners that you know and say, hey, can you have a look at my website and tell me what you think I can do to make it easier for you to find that information. The next one is content optimization. There is no point having people come to your website, have a great user experience, but their content isn't right. Need to look at making sure that your content is optimized for search engines. You need to make sure that you've used the right keywords, and make sure the headings draw people in and make people want to read, and make it easy for someone to skim through the content, because otherwise you're going to lose people before they actually click that important call to action. Use SEO best practices. So make sure that you do good quality keyword research. Make sure that you've filled out all of the meta tags in your website. Make sure you've put alternative text in for your images. Make sure you're building quality backlinks by advertising your website on other platforms. It's important to create a sitemap and use things like Google Search Console for monitoring the website's overall performance. Now, you can also then, which leads us on to the next one, leverage analytics tools. So you can use things like Google Analytics, you can use heat mapping software like Hotjar and analytics that come with your CRM software, things like that to give you information about who's using your website, how they're using your website, and their behaviors when they're using your website. What are they clicking on? What are they scrolling to? What are they stopping to read and what are they skimming past? All of these will allow you to optimize the overall user experience and increase your conversion rates. The next one is make sure that your website's secure. Make sure that your website has an SSL certificate. Have you ever gone to a website, including your own, and you get there and it's Google or any of the other browsers, Chrome, for example, come up and say, this website is unsafe? 9 times out of 10, it's because the person who owns that website hasn't renewed their SSL certificate, or there has been a problem in renewing their certificate. It's not that the website's been hacked. It's not that the website's offline. It's that a very small part of the website security is disabled at the time. The other thing you can do is make sure that the software that the website's built on is up to date. Use security plugins or services to make sure that everything is smooth. The next one is to reduce redirects and check for broken links. So a redirect is, say you had a page and you changed it and you built a new page to replace it, and you then tell Google and the other search engines, hey, this page is no longer here, you can now find this information over here. That's what we call a redirect, and it's used basically in the back end to redirect search engines to where the content has moved to. The other thing is a broken link. So that is what happens if you don't put a redirect in, you will have a broken link. So you might have written a great article and you've referenced some material on somebody else's website, but now that other website no longer has that article there. So if somebody was to click on the link, they'd try to go there and it wouldn't be there anymore. So that's a broken link. So one thing we highly recommend is, even if once a month, go through your articles, check whether you have any links that are no longer working. And if they're no longer working, find where the information has moved to and put the link into there and fix that link. Or remove the link altogether. It's better to remove the link than have it as a broken link, because broken links can cause problems with your Google search rankings and other search engine rankings. Optimize for conversion. So it's important to make sure that you test and measure every piece of content on your website. So whether you do A/B testing, which is where you present two different things on a regular basis and see which one is the most popular and which one is the most effective. So you can do that with elements like landing pages, call to action buttons, things like that. This will help you to define your message better when it comes to reaching your target audience. And then the final key point that I wanted to discuss here is regularly updating your website and maintaining your website. Gone are the days where build it and they will come. Gone are the days where build it and it will last forever. Nowadays, a modern website is quite complex, and if I could liken it to anything, it would be like having a regular service done on your car. You need to do the same sort of thing for your website. You need to make sure that your content management system, so WordPress or whatever platform your website's built on, is up to date. You need to make sure that all of the plugins and extensions that you've used on your website are up to date. You need to make sure that the theme that you've used for your website is up to date. And you need to make sure that your website hasn't all of a sudden started loading really slowly. So you need to check for any performance issues, check for broken links, all those things. Typically, when it comes to regularly updating and maintaining your website, there are things that you'll need to do on a weekly basis, things that you'll need to do on a monthly basis, and things that you'll need to do on an annual basis. And we'll cover those in another video specifically on this topic, but make sure that you are performing the maintenance on your website. So, in conclusion, improving your website's performance is an ongoing process. It involves optimizing for things like speed, ensuring mobile responsiveness, enhancing your user experience, leveraging SEO, making sure that your website's up to date, checking your analytics and insights and industry best practices. And by doing all of that, you can significantly enhance your website's effectiveness and the satisfaction of the users who are visiting your website. Now, if I wanted to give you some next steps, then I would recommend 1, do a website audit. Use tools to evaluate your website's performance, mobile responsiveness, and SEO. You can get a free trial to platforms like SEMrush that can do this for you automatically. Otherwise, most website development companies will offer a fairly cost-effective website audit that can help you to improve your website by giving you action steps of what to take. Prioritize changes. So based on your audit, Prioritize the improvements, starting with those that will have the biggest impact on your performance. And then obviously implement and monitor anything you make, do, or change on your website to see if it's actually doing what it needs to do and to see if it's actually being effective. If something's not being effective, get rid of it. Come up with another solution, monitor that one, see if that one's working. These are all things that we recommend you do constantly on an ongoing basis to make sure that your website is performing at its peak. So I hope you got plenty out of this video. I really do think that, having a website for a business is a great way to grow, but you also need to make sure that you're maintaining that website. I see so many times that a business owner who just doesn't maintain their website and then it breaks and they don't even fix it. And I think you're leaving money on the table. So by keeping on top of all these things, it's going to benefit you, it's going to benefit your business, and ultimately it's going to increase your revenue. So this is Martin from Define Marketing, and until the next video, see you then.